rhythm that's swell. Now somebody's got a hold of those bells. They start to ring, they start to sing, and somebody yells, it must be hell to bells. Oh!
What up, Cyberspace Cadets, Cyber fanbots everywhere, Americans. That's right, Americans. And Odesians out there. It's IRATE PROSTATE. It's Sunday. You know what that means. It's time for ice cream. Why do you call this show Ice Cream, IRATE? Well, funny you should ask me that. The reason I call this show Ice Cream is that most people consider ice cream to be a treat, something they enjoy. And to me, a treat is talking to somebody that I want to know more about, somebody I'm interested in. Like in today, it's trick or treat. So I'm getting a double dose of awesome treatage with today's guest. It's nice to see everybody out there. We'll say hey for a minute to Roast Opinions. Hey, man, Jeff Vader. Jeff Vader. Oh, got some stars in the wow. Okay. Hey, what's up, everybody? Nathan Rita, Kim Joe, Human Skin Lampy. What is up? It's the William Stitch Lucas R. What's up? Uzi Q, my wife. All right. Just saying hi to some people. Hey, and of course today's guest. If I missed you, Evil Dead. Ed, I didn't. In Wikipedia snippet. What's up, fam? Just wanted to come out of the gate firing, and energetic because, God, nobody wants a boring fucking show. I don't know about me. But today's guest is sorry. So I met her in Virgie's, actually, in chat. And then I had met her in Virgie's, on the Discord, typing thing version of meeting. And then last night I met her. And I'm glad that I asked her to do the show because she's got a very... she's awesome, and I love her accent. So, and on that note, I'm going to introduce the one and only Harley'S Timeout.
Hello.
How you doing today?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Did I come out of the gate a little hot there?
You came out that gate steaming.
Sorry, I knocked you out of your chair. I didn't mean to blow people's heads. Oh, we're gonna move into the special new Halloween environment. Hey, that's right.
Ooh.
Special. So it is Halloween, and tell everybody happy Halloween out there.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
That's right. Codependent, Hat Man. I hear you know Hat Man. Tell me about Hat Man.
My honey.
That's right. Jeff Vader, I saw you earlier. And Bunny, oh, there you are, sweetie. Okay. The one and only Zalblay, of course. He did a great job on this show. Piccolo, holy shit. Hey, you doing, dude? So yeah, we got a good crew. And it's nice to see everybody here. Just to hang out with me and Miss Harley. And so Miss Harley, what the deal is that I've got some questions. And they always start out at talking about at YouTube, and then I go into some kind of biographical stuff, and then by the time we're through, we'll be back at YouTube, and we'll so it's like I kind of give you a feel for what the roller coaster is like before we get on it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Up and down and left and right. Deny everything.
Deny everything. That's what I'm saying. That's a good code up, buddy. A good code to live by.
He knows what I'm like, though. I'm literally a gob. I just don't stop. I don't.
All right. So, and apparently, you do have some fans. So, apparently, Harley's milkshake brings the boys to the chat. Just saying. So, and if you feel generous while you're checking this thing out, please subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel. Hit the fucking like button, because it pisses Susan off, and we love pissing her off. And and if you feel like throwing me some shekels, that would be fantastic. I'm not here to make money, but it would be nice to have a little extra, to be honest. But so I do this because I love it. All right, that's the first thing. The first reason I do it. I'll never give it up as long as my health's holding up. I'm going to do this. Right.
Yeah. I don't think it's just my milkshake, though. I think it's my threesome of girls that bring the milkshake.
Explain that.
Well, it's Aunt Kathy. Hi, love.
Hey,
I miss
Kathy.
Aunt Kathy.
We love Aunt Kathy.
I am part of in our Hatman stream. There's 3 of us girls, we kind of take the pee a bit out of, as you know from Chippy's stream last night. We roast Roots and Token relentlessly.
He loves it. You know that's right.
Oh, I know he loves it too much.
He's a masochist. Yeah, we've outed your ass, dude. Just saying.
At this point, he just bends over and he's like, "I'm not gonna fight it anymore."
Right. You might as well just lay back and enjoy it, man. Because it's happening.
Exactly.
That's right. The peggage occurred.
Yes.
If you don't know what we're talking about, I don't. I do know what we're talking about, but the joke would have been I don't either. But the truth is that they do some great stuff, and Roots is the butt of everybody's jokes, and he loves it. He's a great guy. He's a good sport. All right, chat. If you have any questions for Harley's Timeout, all right, write them down, jot them down during the show, okay? And when we get towards the end, I'll ask you guys to hop back in, okay? And throw me some questions, all right? And all right, without any further ado, we're gonna pull the list out. Right?
Oh wow, you have a list.
I do. I have a list.
God, you're like Jericho. You're like the list.
Well, I gotta have I'd like to have the questions, written out, just so because I'm forgetful and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they hit you at a certain point, and then you're like, my brain feels like absolute jello.
Well, I've got what's called CRS disease. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
No, you haven't. It's CRS disease. No. Can't remember shit.
All right.
Yeah.
I must have that too. That's definitely it.
Nice curveball. Boom. There you go. All right. So the first question is always going to be now, because I didn't think of it till it was told to. Anyway, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
My favorite flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've got two. Can I have two?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if you can get it over there, but we could get like raspberry ripple, it's called.
Okay.
It's like a vanilla-y kind of ice cream with like raspberry kind of jam rippled through it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's really good.
That sounds sounds good.
I really like fruity ice creams. So like cherry, raspberry, strawberry, like them.
Nice.
But mint chocolate chip. I love mint chocolate chip ice cream.
It's good to hear that. What's your favorite Halloween candy? Do y'all tell me about how y'all do?
We don't.
Go ahead.
We don't technically do Halloween that much over here. It's like it's got more popular as like I think we've become a bit Americanized over here. The kids love it, kind of thing, and they do their pumpkins and everything. But you don't tend to see trick-or-treaters all that often. And I'm diabetic, so I can't really eat candy unless I'm crawling along the floor with a low, like Trippy.
I hear you.
So I tend to have like Skittles or something like that to hand. I really like Skittles. I like sour sweets, like the stuff that will make your mouth like just have a layer of it skimmed off.
like pucker up. Like,
yeah. It's like when you're having a low, you're like, oh my God, yeah, I can eat sugar. And then you're like, oh God, I really don't want to eat sugar.
Nice. All right. So the first official question, okay, you got to find out the flavor. So it's raspberry swirl.
Ripple. Yeah, it's a swirl.
Yeah,
ripple.
Raspberry ripple. All right, that's today's flavor, fan. I like it. I like the sound of it. How long have? All right, so I always starting out with YouTube, of course. How long have you been on YouTube? What was the main reason you decided to get on YouTube, and what originally brought you to YouTube originally, and the significance of your name? So.
Oh God, it feels like years ago now. Like really does feel like years ago. Well, it was. I first kind of, you know how you just randomly watch YouTube for like random things.
Mm-hmm.
You just because I used to do beauty blogging, so I would watch a lot of bloggers kind of thing, and then I kind of like just tripped upon Ada Nation, so people that watch like Anne Boleyn Reid and Foodie Beauty. I don't even know how I tripped on that, but it was kind of like live streams, like chat and everything, that I kind of got into that, like just talking to people, because it's fun to kind of engage in a chat when you're watching something. It's different to actually watching a video. Like you feel like you can really get to know some people when you're talking to them in a chat.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of enjoyed those kind of like live streams, and then it just progressively, like in different communities, just got more involved, talking more. I was at home a lot because of my health, so I had quite a lot of time and just doing things like that. And then I kind of got told to, start doing my own kind of content as well. So I put a few like singing videos out, I did a stream, and they went kind of well, but I can't really predict my health enough to say, yeah, I could do that, regularly and put it out like it needs to, kind of thing. So I'm kind of happy in the background, just like having fun and talking to people and doing stuff like that. So
yeah, a lot of people get started, in the chats and stuff. So yeah, that's very common. So what about the significance of your name?
I think it's more because I've always I like comics. I've always kind of liked comics, and like everyone kind of seems to have this affiliation with like Harley Quinn, but I actually really kind of do, because one minute I'm like the Harleen version of her, where I could be kind of sensible and intelligent sometimes. I put that in quote commas, sometimes be intelligent. But the other side of me, I'm just a fucker. Really.
I want to thank Pincala the Ape Man.
Yeah.
$1.49 Canadian popcorn. Indeed.
Yay.
Yeah. So grab a seat, my brother, and enjoy. So I just want to acknowledge that,
Yeah.
Because money makes the world go around.
Yeah.
As I like to say.
Indeed. Especially now.
All right. So all right, now, what kind of content do you gravitate to?
I like watching. You just don't want to deal with kind of the drama of certain things. So I pulled away from a lot of things that were just too much drama. I was like, oh, it's too much stress. I need to kind of, during COVID, everyone had a really bad time. And I was just like, I need to back away from certain things and get a bit more of perspective on what I need to do for myself and what I need to surround myself with, essentially, and getting to know who I was again. Because sometimes you can lose yourself in it and lose yourself in dramas that really you shouldn't really be getting het up about or even have it bog you down. It's like, right, come on, pull the reins back a bit. So now I'm like back to how I was, where I just wanted to be, have a fun time, have a laugh, just chill. So it's like AP stuff makes me laugh. Like, I just laugh so much. I can't.
I think
sometimes I can't with him.
All right, so yeah, he is a natural, man. He is one of the funniest people on. Man, people don't understand. Comedy is like musicians. It's all about timing and stuff. And he's fantastic, and he's highly creative. I love the way he just pulls shit out, and it always makes it funny.
And he's so quick with it.
Absolutely.
Like, he watches the stuff, like he watched that. I know it was hilarious for a whole different reason, but like last week he watched that James stream that was just pulled out. He was about to end the stream and he took a load of edibles, and it was funny even just listening to him laugh on that. But pulling the shit out of his ass he did as he was watching it, it was like, I can't do that. Like, I just can't. I'm not that naturally funny, and I just can't roast people like that naturally, like within seconds. It's just his innate ability to do that. Right. Like, him and my other half do that. Like, my other half is on the ball as well, but he's a different kind of humour. His humour's very dry, and it's kind of a British roasting kind of humour. And I'm like, oh god, babe. like Jesus Christ. Sometimes I just I'm literally there laughing. Like, I couldn't be on stream with my other half sometimes, because you'll just hear me laughing uncontrollably, because I just can't help it. Like Trippy stream, bless him, the first time I played cards with them, I was just laughing so much. I just couldn't, because I was getting the worst cards that I would like. I was getting the worst, like, most guttery cards you can imagine. And I was like, oh god, and I'm surrounded by a load of men. Like, Hitsugi was the one there with me, bless her. But it's just, I was like, oh my god. And I was just laughing so much. I could barely talk. Like, oh, I'm really not. I'm nice, but I'm very. I have no filter, as I said to Irate. I have none.
Hey, Clockwork Rags and JJ Lynn, Straight to the Mail, Aunt Kathy. We love you, Aunt Kathy. Yeah,
we do.
All right, this is where we're kind of get into more biographical type stuff. So it's like, and I love opening with this question because it's a sense memory thing. You didn't figure that out already, people. Is there food from your childhood that you hated, but now in adulthood you actually like it?
Oh God, not really, because I had a very eclectic kind of growing up, because I have a South African father, an English mother, but my grandmother is Irish. So I had 3 different cuisines, kind of, plus additional stuff like Italian and things like that you naturally just have. So we were kind of encouraged to try anything. And I don't know, I'm not really that fussy. Like, there's only one thing I really can't stand, and it's like the one thing that causes issue with everyone, and that's avocado. It's just the one thing I can't eat. It's disgusting. I just can't. I've never liked it.
Yeah, is it the texture or is it the flavor or both?
It's both. It's just the texture, it feels just wrong. It just feels wrong. And the taste of it, I'm like, I don't get what all the fuss is with avocados. Like, if I went to California, they'd probably lynch me.
No doubt. All right. So using one word, just one word, how would you describe your family growing up?
Messy. Very messy.
I like that.
Very messy.
So who would you say is the most influential person on your childhood?
My grandmother.
Yeah. So what kind of kid were you, and how did you all interact?
I had a very different childhood to my sisters, because I was very sick as a kid, so I didn't kind of have the like normal kind of childhood you would kind of associate with. Like, I was out of school a lot. I had like a different view on things than kind of other people around me at a very young age. Because I think if you see certain things when you're a young kid, even as you're a young kid, you kind of process it when you're a bit older, and you kind of, I don't know, it kind of affects you in a different way. Mm-hmm. Like seeing like a friend of yours who's like in the next cot, not come back from a surgery, and you have to process that as a young kid. And then you go back out into the world and you see all your friends and everything, and you're like trying to figure it out. It's very different. Like, than say what my sisters would probably come back and say was their childhood. But no, my grandmother was a huge like influence in my childhood. If it wasn't for my grandmother, I probably wouldn't have been here right now.
So what type of kid were you?
Rambunctious.
Okay.
I had, everyone around me was trying to like fling me in cotton wool all the time, because of like I would have a lot of surgeries, corrective surgeries, and like recovering from like, because I had spinal cancer as a kid, just put it out there. But like, everyone was trying to wrap me in cotton wool, and it was the one thing that would get me from 0 to 100 in a second. I was like, please stop doing that. Like, just stop it. I want to be like my friends, running around like rough and tumbling, etc. You know, I was like, if I hurt myself, I hurt myself. Like, I'm not going to be any more hurt than I've already been. Like, why even bother? So I was very much, if my friends were doing it, I wanted to do it.
Right.
And I felt like I didn't want to get the special kind of treatment, because it was like, I don't deserve it. I've just been sick in hospital. Why do I want special treatment? I was like, it didn't make sense. It's like these little things when you're a kid, they don't compute. You're like, why am I getting given the special treatment? So,
all right, you said you had spinal cancer?
Yeah.
All right, so how old were you when that was first, diagnosed or figured out, and how long did you have to deal with it? Are you still dealing with it?
Well, I was 3 when I had it. Mm-hmm. and like I said, it was my grandmother who picked it first up, like, because I was dragging my leg. Because I asked her when I was older, I was like, because obviously I didn't remember like going in initially for it. I remember the little boy who was next to me while I was having my treatment. But I said to her, how did you even pick it up? Like, I was 3. Like, I must have been running around like because apparently I was quite wild as a little toddler as well. I would crawl out of my cot and everything and just do silly stuff. And she was like, no, you started dragging your leg, and that's how I knew that you weren't right, because you would just drag your leg and you just moan. I was like, okay. She was like, it wasn't you, Tara, trust me, it just wasn't you. You would be running around like a lunatic.
Kind of sounds like it's strokey type of behavior.
Yeah.
And so what happened?
My grandmother took me to the GP, which is like the family doctor over here. I suppose you would call them a pediatrician
we call
over
them
in America.
GPs, general practitioner, yeah.
He basically said to my grandmother, he was like, oh, she's just going through that, that terrible 2, terrible 3 stage, she'll be fine kind of thing. My grandmother was quite a force. She kind of took me back there 3 times. And she was, the 3rd time, she basically put her foot down and asked for a letter to the hospital to get me a scan done. She was like, I'm not leaving your surgery until you give me the scan paper to take her to the hospital. And I was like, Jesus, Nan, I could just imagine you in that poor GP surgery just going nuts, because you did cross her when she was mad. So they took me to the hospital. They did the kind of scan on my spine to see, and they obviously saw the tumour there. Sent me to Great Ormond Street, which is the paediatric hospital here, and I had it removed. So it was quite a big thing, because it was like 1984. So it's not like now where they have a lot of kind of, high-tech stuff. It was like pretty still basic.
So surgery got it.
Yeah. Well, surgery and radiotherapy and some medications got it. But I had to be checked up every like 6 months to a year till I was like 16 to make sure it didn't come back. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, it was fantastic it didn't come back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. But it gave me a different view on life. Like, I don't take things for granted.
Yeah, definitely. And it sounds like that you didn't want it to have an effect on you, like, playing with your, your friends and stuff.
No.
Right. So that you don't let it affect your social life. And that's great.
Yeah.
All right. So do you have a favorite holiday or time of year that puts you in a certain, positive spirit?
I love Halloween, which is weird because, like, we don't really celebrate it here, but ever since I was a kid, I've loved Halloween.
Definitely.
I like, because it's, I don't know, maybe I'm just a bit of a darker soul, but, like, I wanted to paint my room black when I was a kid, and everyone was just looking at me like, God, you really are the odd one out, aren't you? Like, but it's like you watch movies like Beetlejuice and think like the old 80s kind of 90s classics, The Crow, stuff like that, and I was just more drawn to that than the happy, oh, it's Christmas. And I'm like, I don't care.
Scary movies are so fun, even if they're shitty, they're there's something you can get from it, right? Comedy, right?
Yeah.
So it's always a good bet to just pop some horror on, and good stuff.
I love Halloween. I'm gutted that, like, I wish I could experience like a proper American Halloween, because it's like, you lot know how to do holidays, don't you? You go all out.
Yeah. Oh, people, man, even for fucking Halloween, people like, will dress their houses up and, adorn them with like lights and stuff. It's pretty cool. There's a certain festive thing I think that's unique to United States. I would say not urban, but the suburban type areas that they're all like. Some neighborhoods will get real competitive and stuff. It's funny. It's fun.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas is a classic.
It is. It is.
So yeah. But yeah, I see some videos on like YouTube of these houses that they go all out, but they do it for like charity over there. So like children's homes, etc. It's really cool. Like they do this whole light shows. I'm like, God, I'd love to be their neighbor.
Indeed. It's like, I don't know, be careful what you ask for, right? Have you ever heard that phrase? Be careful what you ask for, because you may get it.
Oh, yeah. I still have to learn that lesson in life.
Well, all right, so if you could go back in time and talk to little Harley at the age of 8, what would you tell yourself?
What, just one thing? Can I bring a list?
Just one thing. One phrase, a sentence, phrase, paragraph, What would you tell yourself?
I would probably tell her to guard herself a little bit more, and there's being nice, but there's also not being naive. That's probably what I would advise her. And it's okay to say no.
Indeed. So what was I don't know how you structure what they call the school system where you're at. So what were those like early and then middle I guess what, 1st through 5th and then 6th through 8th?
Yeah, we have so I went to like primary school, which takes you up to when you're 10, 11 years old. And then you go to high school. So which you do until you're like 16, and then you do like your first set of big exams, and then you go to your A levels, which then are your exams to take you to what you call college, we call university. So yeah, so we have like the primary school was fine. I had an amazing headmaster. Like sometimes he would make a bit of a show of me, and I would just go bright red in the middle of like assembly, and I'd be like, please stop doing this to me, I don't want to stand up in these goddamn assemblies. Just stop it. It's like that whole thing of being made a fuss of. I'm like, please stop, don't do it, don't like it.
Well, why was he doing that?
Because we had, I don't know, like I went to a Catholic primary school, so we have this thing called communion. So you have your first Holy Communion, and you have to do what's essentially like Bible class, catechism, before you go to have your communion. And the kids walk to the church, so it was like a 10-minute walk to the church. And I'd had a lot of surgery on like correcting the side of my leg from the cancer, kind of twisted it out a bit. So I was constantly kind of having surgery, and they were like, oh, we'll put you in the car and one of the teachers will drive you down there. And I was like, no, I want to walk with all my friends. Like, I want to walk with them. They're not getting in the car. Like, so I would walk there and walk back. And he would just make a big thing of it in assembly and like give me a big bag of sweets, and I'd be like, oh my God, will you stop? So then I'd go back in the classroom and I'd be like, can you all like have these sweets, because I really don't want them, because like you will walk there too, and I don't think I should be made a big thing of just because I walked to the church. So
all right, so you leave that school and transfer to the next level, where you begin as at the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah, and I didn't have anyone go to my high school from my primary school.
Oh damn!
So I was literally the only one.
Yeah, that's gotta suck.
Yeah, it was. I was expected to kind of get bullied because of, kids could be kind of harsh, especially
yeah.
if you're having surgeries, you're in and out of school, you've got like plaster casts on, etc. Kids could be rough. But my high school, I was like popular. I was like, God, jeez, I just thought I was going to get absolutely roasted. So, and some of my closest friend, my best friend, I've known him since I was 6, and he's still my best friend now. So, I know a lot of my school time friends still. So yeah, it was a good time. I had fun.
So, all right, given your situation, what was the craziest thing that you look back on it you did as a kid?
Oh God, you really want to know that? Oh Lord.
Sure.
Well, it wasn't me that did it. Okay, can I just put that disclaimer out there? Like, God, I had my leg in a cast. I was in a wheelchair, and this was at primary school, and my primary school was on a hill. If anyone knows Harrow, it's on a hill. Like, there's a hill going down. And me being the stupid head I was like telling my sister, let me go. And what did she do? She let me go. I rolled down the hill. Yeah.
Man, so did y'all do that often?
No, I got called into the headmaster's office and told off because of it. They were all chasing me. They were like, right, we're going to keep you here until your parents turn up, and you're not going anywhere.
Right. So, what about boys? When and how did that start factoring into your life?
Probably when I was about 16. Like, you always have a school crush, right? Mm-hmm. I think you always just have one. Like, it's funny, my best friend who I know now, he was my first crush. I don't know what, he's just a girl magnet, especially when he was in primary school. He would be the one sitting by the tree and have all the girls around him, and I'd be like, oh my God. Like, so he was like my first crush. And then it was funny because I had a crush at like high school, etc., but I was not in school enough to kind of be worried about boys. I was too worried about my schoolwork because I was missing so much school when I was in hospital. So I suppose when it was like, when I finished my exams and I was like 16, I started then kind of like loosening up. I was like, that's out of the way now. I've done my exams. The stress is over. I went out one night and saw my best friend, and we actually started dating. So yeah.
Well, that happens a lot, doesn't it?
It does, because we both, when we kind of met up, we both realised where I was worried about being bullied, he was actually being bullied, which made no sense because he was such a nice guy. But he had 3 sisters, and he was being bullied by a lot of kids, boys that were, I think they were just, boys just get jealous that, certain boys get more attention than others, and
sure.
he was that sensitive, kind of guy that he was really kind of, you get to that point in your teens where you struggle with like your sexuality, etc., and he was at that point and he was getting bullied and I wasn't, but I was kind of still worrying about other stuff, and we just clicked, and then we just started dating. But we liked the same things, so like we would do music class together outside of school. We first got our first jobs. We then started going to the theatre every month, like going to the cinema, just doing things that we really liked, away from like the stress of school, and it was cool. So, but it wasn't, we kind of confused that like initial thing of I like you with you're like my best friend kind of thing, and it didn't, we eventually worked out it didn't work because we were that close, it just felt wrong. It
Right.
was like, even like kissing him, it was like, it just doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm kissing my brother.
Well, so did you guys like explore your sexuality together?
No,
Okay.
because it just felt weird. So like after 6 months of like dating, we were just like, this isn't working, and it's not working because it's us two. It's working because we're so close and we've known each other so long that we're friends. We're not like, we shouldn't be together in that sense, because it feels awkward.
It was like your brother, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was a totally awkward thing, and we were like, no, we're better off like going our separate ways and being how we are and how we always have been. So we went separate ways, and then I went to like university, and I, met boys there. I went, God, I can't say I was loose at university. That's just wrong. Like, but I did like, I was in medical like school, so it's like you go out drinking a lot. Like when they say doctors and nurses drink a lot, it's not wrong.
Yeah.
We drink a lot. It's like, so yeah, we drink a lot, and then I got like my first boyfriend when I was in my second year.
Yeah. Well, usually college, that's where you do that shit. You explore your sexuality. You learn how to destroy your brain properly and.
Oh yeah, I think I completely destroyed it. But it was also, I think it was also that other side of it of like, I'd stressed and worried about stuff for so long. It was the first time I properly got to just chill and just really like relax and enjoy my life kind of thing. It was that kind of separate as well entity that was kind of there too, which probably wasn't good. Because I went a bit wild, but it was like I needed to do it. Mm-hmm. So the first time I had alcohol, I have Irish grandparents. I was like 6, I think.
All right, so what's the first time you really got trashed so bad? First time where you're like real, yeah. When you pay for it?
When our 18th birthday year hit, all of us, I swear to Christ, we nearly had to book into like Alcoholics Anonymous, because my best friend's birthday was the February, but before that, I had all my school friends' birthdays from like the September up to that February, so we were all going to like London getting like plastered on margarita and tequila, and then my best friend's birthday comes around, we're absolutely hammered, like. We were crawling home. Like, I was so hammered. He was like singing "I Want Pork Pies" down the street, and I was like, oh my God. And then my birthday rolls up in May, and no. That party went on so long, it actually came back to my house when the actual pub closed, where the party was. And so many people ended up at my house, and we were all drinking till like, I think it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. And the next day I was like, I hate myself.
I bet. Man. Sometimes it just ain't worth it, right?
God. Yeah, but then I went to university and I did it all over again. So I didn't.
Yeah. Well, I think that's where you learn how to, at least fake it till you make it, right? With the hangovers and shit, having to go to school. And...
If I didn't mix my drink, I would be fine. If I mixed my drink, oh God. It was... Yeah. And I learned very early on, I didn't like things like Sambuca and like fireballs and whiskey. Like the other half is going to be like blasphemy like at me, because he loves whiskey. But yeah, things really strong liquor with a really strong like aniseedy kind of taste. That stuff does not agree with me. It has to be plain, simple alcohol.
Right.
So yeah.
All right. So all right, moving on. All right. So what was the first record you owned?
I had a cassette. I didn't have records. I had a cassette.
What was the first
That's
cassette?
really bad.
Yeah.
Oh my god, first cassette. Oh, this is going to be really bad. Like, you just said that, and the first one just sprang in my head. And it's either, I'm going to sound like such a bass when I say this. It was either Ace of Base, or it was, oh my god, what was the band with Justin Timberlake in it?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh god, it was that, or it was the Venga Boys. So I remember blasting it from my car because it had a cassette tape player.
That's great. That's great.
Right, so it was cool shit. I was like, oh yeah, let's do that one up.
New Kids on the Block. That's that's not it.
No.
I can't remember. 98 Degrees or some shit like that. I can't remember. It was pop it up, watch.
The Backstreet Boys, the Bye 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 song kind of thing. Like, it was that one. Not Backstreet Boys, just Justin Timberlake. God, my sister was into Backstreet Boys heavy. I had to buy her tickets to that concert. Right. And I resented giving the money over for that. I was like, God, Jesus. So, yeah.
That's cool.
NSYNC. That's it. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. So, what's your favorite band now?
I love Slipknot. Slipknot's like my favorite band.
Oh wow, yeah.
I really love Slipknot. But I love the kind of other stuff that Corey does as well. So I like Stone Sour. I like Bullet for My Valentine. Like, I'm very kind of like, I like heavy music. So, yeah, and all the classics as well. Like, the 90s kind of new metal phase, I kind of went through that.
Definitely.
So,
right.
Yeah, I like all them bands, like, from the 90s, where all of us basically wore not that much and we walked out.
All right, so if I were to, like, look in your cassette deck right now, or whatever you're listening to, what would be in it?
There'd be a lot, actually. Funny enough, I hate Daywave now because it's actually got 98 Degrees in there.
That's funny.
Fucking songs in there too. I like Slipknot's always in there. Skillet's in there. I really like the Little Nas X song album he just put out. I know people are going to be like, oh, it's not metal, but I'm very I've come from like doing music with my best friend, so I've got quite a wide spectrum of music I like. So I like, with his album, it's very lyrical, and the lyrics are really kind of from the heart kind of thing. Even if it's not like your kind of beat of music, if you really listen to the lyrics, they're so from the heart. It's like, oh my god, he really did, like, he put his heart and soul into this album. Like, I like things like that, things that kind of really hit home. So yeah, like, there's loads of things that I like, but for different reasons.
Well, so do you have a guilty pleasure, or a couple?
Christ, a guilty pleasure. Christ almighty.
Musically.
I do like a lot of kind of K-pop and J-pop, but I don't think that's a guilty pleasure. I think a lot of people like baby metal and K-pop, but
see, I like poppy, and I like baby metal too.
I like Bandmate and baby metal and bands like that. So, I think probably my guilty pleasure would be like, I don't know, probably anything pop related. If I hear a pop song and it's got a good beat and I could just, bounce around to it, then that's fine. But so yeah, I don't know. Probably if anyone saw my playlist and they saw something on Miley Cyrus or Dua Lipa, they'd be like, Jesus Christ, Tara, are you feeling all right? Have you got temperature?
Right.
Are you ill?
Right. All right. So I guess kind of moving on. So have you, what about relationships, marriage, children, that kind of thing?
That's extensive. I have 2 kids, so the eldest one's going to be 18 in June, and then my youngest is 7. She's not really the youngest; she's 17. So they're both about to graduate into adulthood. The eldest is already on the road driving, and I'm praying from everyone, my soul, pedestrians, because when she messages me, she's like, Mom, like, I'll be safe, I promise. I won't speed too much, ha ha ha. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ in heaven.
No doubt.
I'm like, you just gave me a heart attack. Thank you very much.
That's your mom's revenge right there.
This is karma on me. This is karma on my soul. It's like, oh God, all the things I used to do are coming back on me like tenfold now. I've created my own.
Well, all right, so what about marriages?
One marriage, one very bad marriage that I got out of over COVID. So yeah, kind of needed to happen.
That's crazy.
It's like,
How'd that happen? Tell me about that.
It's like, you know how you don't notice the red flags until they're blaring in your face?
Mm-hmm.
And they're glaringly in your face,
mm-hmm.
you know? And it's like you kind of talk to other people and they kind of see them as well, and they're like, yeah, that's not a good place to be. And I always thought it was me. Like, I would be like, oh, God, it must be me, because it's like my health and, you know, just the situation I'm in. And like other people tell you, no, it's not that. You literally, this is, you know, he might not be kind of, it's not physical, but it's definitely emotional. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, I need to get away from this. And there was always an issue, like, you know, I stayed when he kind of strayed, and you kind of look back on it, but then I don't like looking back on things always, because I think it kind of can tie your future if you constantly are looking back on stuff. Kind of learnt that the hard way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
With like when you have a messy family, stuff can stick to you all too easily, and you can bring it through with you throughout your whole life, and it can create, it's almost like that effect where you're in sand and you get bogged down and you don't know how to kind of get yourself out of that bog. But then if someone kind of gives you a plank to get out, you've either got to get out or you keep sinking, kind of thing. It's kind of like that metaphor. Like, you can help yourself or you can just keep sinking. So it's like, you just got to get rid of all that sand. Just wash it all off. So it was the same kind of thing with relationships. It's like, that's done, that's dusted, it's in the past. You've learned from it, you went through a bad stage, at the end of it, you got your help, you got sorted on the right path again. That's it now. It's done, dusted, it's in the past. And you learned from it, so that's the most important thing. Quicksand, yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right, so this is like where we like shift gears again, and we go into more like your tastes and aesthetics, that kind of thing. What is your favorite horror film first?
Favorite horror film? Do you know what? I've found this out that I haven't watched enough horror films, because I got scared really easy by the Alien when I was like really young. So I tended to and then I've been watching traders streams on Twitch. So I've been introduced to a lot of horror over the past couple of weeks, and I really like them, but I've got to say, I do like the Hellraiser stuff. Doesn't actually scare me, which is weird. Like, I really like the fact that it's so out there and artistically as well. Like the Clive Barker stream he did. Like, I missed the first two Hellraisers and I was kind of gutted because AP was streaming. But the rest of the Clive Barker stuff he put on, it was like you could really tell the guy has a vision in his head that he's trying to kind of get through on the film, where it's almost like it's kind of like to not have, there's different kind, everyone's got a different perception of what happens after this place, where there's a hell, or what that version could be, if it can, and just not to realize that everyone has that kind of fear, and that's probably what makes it horror. That is probably everyone's fear after what happens when you die. Is hell going to be that, like that, where it's just pure pain? But I think it's like, when you think about it, you can do the worst and most harmful stuff to yourself. There doesn't need to be an outside influence. Your own horror can come from your own head, essentially. So it's that kind of Clive Barker kind of Hellraiser movies that I kind of enjoy, because they make you think a lot more. It's not just purely horror.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Right. And I love the old Curiosity Killed the Cat type of horror films, because you have basically a likable, innocent protagonist that just does opens the wrong door, man, and boom. It goes downhill from there. And it's like, yes, I love that shit.
It was like,
well, kind of life's kind of random like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, how much knowledge is too much knowledge? With that movie, it's like,
Indeed.
it's like, when is your stop point? When it's your point where you go, no, that you're not supposed to know that. You're not supposed to know past that. Understand that there's a reason why you don't have that knowledge.
All right, so what about science fiction? Do you like any science fiction movies or anything?
Love science fiction. Science fiction is probably my favorite.
Okay.
I love that. I love Star Trek. I grew up watching like The Next Generation. That was my favorite, like Picard. What were the other ones? Land of the Giants, the original. Like, I know, how old do I sound? Like,
that's from my childhood, man. So I'm old as fuck. So, but that's awesome. I love the Land of the Giants. I was, that the guy that played the kid ended up, in Fringe. He ended up doing some horror films and stuff. It was interesting. Yeah. I think he just recently passed away, didn't he?
Yeah, because like the Sunday evenings over here, like it was like the thing. We would go to church, and then from the morning, it would be, God, this is going to sound so bad. Like, the morning TV over here would be like The Waltons, Land of the Giants, Planet the Apes, and then Little House on the Prairie.
Right.
And I used to watch all four of them. And this is probably why I really like America so much, because I'd be like, watching all of them, and I'd be like, that would be my Sunday, just watching them. So, Stargate, yeah.
All right, Stargate. So remember, fam, if you've got questions for this lovely lady, write them down, and then when I ask you, we'll be opening for questions. I see a couple in there, man, and they're not bad questions, actually. All right,
but just that sort of sci-fi stuff I really enjoy.
What do you think is the best sci-fi movie you've ever seen?
Best one? Oh God. Oh.
See, I love sci-fi too because there's so much you can do with it.
I know, right? It's like it's open to like your imagination completely, and that is. But the thing is, sci-fi is also very close to real life. It's almost like in certain aspects it could run parallel to how our future could look.
Yes, exactly.
If we weren't such stupid idiots with
are you a Black Mirror fan?
Mhm.
Oh, I love that series. It's fantastic. You know,
I think the most impressive one I've seen so far is I really liked Interstellar and I really liked The Martian.
oh wow, both of those I like. The Martian, that's a Ridley Scott movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah, with what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Aunt Kathy tips $20, you sweetheart, and says,
Aw.
"Thank you for being the joy you bring. Thank you for
I
the
love
joy you
Aunt
bring."
Kathy.
You're so sweet.
Love you. She's
Yes.
sweet. But yeah, Interstellar was probably the first movie I've watched where I was like, wow. Like nobody's ever like I've not seen a movie that's kind of brought in like those kind of dimensions before.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's kind of out there, you know, in
Yes.
concept, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're saying.
And I was watching it. I was like, oh my God, this is trippy. Like just trippy's in the, but like, it was, even though it's Matthew McConaughey, and I know some people really can't stand him as an actor, he's a good actor. I don't, like, every kind of film I've seen him in, he's good. Like, what's the Dallas Buyers Club?
Buyers Club was fantastic.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Interstellar, if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it because it is probably the most engaging sci-fi I've seen in a long time.
Frailty's a good movie too with him in it.
I really like him, even though he gets such a bad. I mean, yeah, he's like one of those Nicolas Cage kind of things. It's like
I don't know, man. I think, you know, it's just like he's like, you know, hey man, just lay back and shit. Just, you know, spark one up and hang with me, man. But, you know, I know a lot of people like that. So
yeah, but he's really good.
He resonates with me in a positive way. I like
yeah,
watching
but
this
in
stuff.
the movies, it's like give him a chance. If you see his name on a movie,
Have you seen Mud?
give him a chance. No.
Oh, dude, he is great in that, and I think he directed that, if I'm not mistaken. Mud was good shit.
I have to rewatch them.
Yeah, I'm remembering. I don't want to be wrong, but I'm almost sure he's in that. You know what I'm saying?
Because you know how it's like really, it's getting kind of hard to see the kind of classic movies still.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like we all have streaming services like Netflix, etc. But they don't kind of have those old classics where you can kind of go back and binge. And I don't have my VHS tape anymore. Like, we kind of evolved from VHS and, you know, DVDs, etc. It's like, you know, I miss those old movies. I do.
I pulled that movie up, the one called Mud, and and it's directed by Jeff Nichols, but McConaughey is definitely plays a fantastic character in it. It's probably it's on the same level as Dallas Buyers Club. I think he was really trying to go for, you know, art on that shit. So yeah, good. I recommend. Frailty's a good movie too.
Because like,
go ahead.
Doesn't it feel like now, like everyone's getting so lazy with creativity? It's like they're re-churning the same stuff over and over again,
regurgitating it, man, and just the reimagining it, and putting trans people in it, and fucking. And it's like whatever, man. Yeah, and shitting all over history by, you know, having quotas being filled for people that probably weren't there. Which
and it's like we went through this part of history, and it's an important marker. Don't try and rewrite it now, because then you lose that significance of why it was back then how it was.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like just you can't extinguish like what's happened by trying to rehash everything. It's like it just doesn't work. And this whole generation is gonna go up shit creek if they're not careful. If they're not already there.
Right on. All right, so what about television series? What's your favorite TV series ever?
Oh God, there's so many. I really like Van Helsing as a series. I binged that so hard. I kind of like vampires. I like dark stuff, so like vampire series is I binge, like From Dusk Till Dawn, like the series they did for that.
That wasn't bad, man. That was like after you start getting into it, and it started out a little slow and kind of goofy, but then it picked up. And I liked Wilmer Valderrama, man. I thought he did a great job.
He was good in it, and I binged that as well. Like, obviously, The Witcher. I can't wait for like November for the second series to come out.
Yeah,
because The Walking Dead, like, just things like that. I really loved them.
Yeah. I don't know. Walking Dead is like I don't know. They jumped the shark. It looks like Fear the Walking Dead is actually getting better than regular Walking Dead.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because the first season of Fear the Walking Dead, I was snoozing. I was like, oh my God, this is like pulling teeth. I was trying so hard with it. And then like Rob, who is like in my other half server, he was like, and Curious, I think it is, he was like, no, stick with it. It gets so much better. I was like, oh God, I feel like I'm pulling teeth. Though. I really do.
Right.
He's like, no, you've got to keep with it. It gets better. Trust me. I was like, okay, I'll try.
Are you
so I'm going?
Go ahead.
So I'm like trying to keep through that. But yeah, I like and also obviously that's the sci-fi stuff. So I watch like, I'll sit and watch the old Voyager kind of, box sets and that with my life.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian. Things like that.
I love that, man. It sucked me in. I liked it. I didn't want to like it, and I did.
Yeah.
All right, so what about anime? Are you an anime fan? Do you have a favorite anime series, character?
Overlord. I love Overlord. Akame ga Kill as well. I really love that.
Sweet.
7 Deadly Sins. Tokyo Ghoul. Like, I've got anime on my Netflix too.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Aunt Kathy's questions. Is Walking Dead still on? Holy shit! It's like, yeah, exactly. That's it's getting long in the tooth, that Aunt Kathy.
season 11 currently.
Yeah, exactly. 11 seasons. A little too much. I think 7's about it. And
I think
you run out of shit to do after 7.
I think this is the last season, though. Like the next section of season 11 is going to be the last. I think they've said, because they understand it's gone on for 11 seasons now. They've pretty much done all they can do, and you can kind of see where the ending is coming.
And they're supposed,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, they're supposed to bring back Rick too.
Rick, yeah.
Yeah, I saw some stuff about that on the Twitter.
Yeah. Because Rick got, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but yeah, there is talk of like, because everyone was like, oh Jesus, certain characters, what happened to them, kind of thing. That it was open ended kind of thing. So I think that's why they're ending it season 11, because then they can kind of progress it on. But I mean, only 2 characters. When you think about it, only 2 characters out of 11 seasons have made it through 11 seasons.
Well, yeah, it's like the Maggie. It's now Maggie and Negan from the book. Carol from the book died like when they were at the prison, right? Yeah. Obviously, I've read all the comics and shit, so I'm up to date on all of it. Yeah,
like Daryl's like survived, which I'm not surprised that Daryl survived. Like, if you put bets on when you saw season 1, who you would expect to see in season 11.
Hey, Zuka. Say it, Azuka.
Hey, Zuka.
Hey, Zuka. All right, so we know you got scars from your surgeries, etc. What about tattoos? Do you have any like tattoos or piercings?
I got 5 tattoos.
Okay.
I have 2 big tattoos on my shoulder. Like, so I got my first job after I finished like my first set of exams, because like people were saying, oh, you can just, you know, go on social assistance, you could go on welfare with like your disability, you don't have to like work, etc. I was like, stop that. I'm going to be a statistic and I'm not going to have someone tell me what I can and can't do, thank you.
Right.
So I went out and got a job, and I was like, I've got 2 hands, I've got 2 legs, I can drive, I will go out and work, thank you. So I went out, got a job. It was filing first to start off with, which was fine with me. You know, it got me money while I was still studying, like my A-levels. So I was fine with it. And then they saw I was a hard worker and progressed me up. And then I just, you kind of go through that stage where it was also the 90s. It was like new metal. Everyone had piercings. So I got my lip pierced. Like my bottom lip pierced, like
yeah. Did you have a barbell going through?
No, I had a ring.
Okay.
I had a terrible habit of just playing with that ring. So they told me at work I had to get because it was a professional setting. They're like, you have to get a spacer for that ring because you're just sitting there just playing with it. I was like, okay, I'll get a spacer for it. Then I got like my nose pierced, and my first tattoo was actually with my best friend. We both went to the tattoo parlor and we picked out one that we wanted together. So it was like we both had the same tattoo. And we picked a symbol for strength. Mm-hmm. So he has it on his arm and I have it on my hip. So we both have that tattoo. Sweet. It's kind of like our tattoo kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was meaningful to the pair of us because of what we both separately had gone through.
It was kind of a binding thing. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I went home. My mum kind of saw it. She was not impressed with like her gothy daughter over here, you know.
Right.
I was just a complete disappointment to her through my life kind of thing. And then my sister was like, I really want a tattoo. And I think she kind of caved because my sister, the favourite, she wanted a tattoo. So we went to the place again and I got another one. So I got like a bleeding rose on my back next to like near my scar. But I didn't want it as red. I was like, everyone gets red roses and it just feels like, I don't know, I didn't want red. So I got like a purpley blue rose on the back by my scar. And then I was like hooked. I was like, oh my God. I was like, they're so small though. So I got like my first paycheck and then I got an Irish tea, which is basically in Celtic, like the T is backwards if you look at it. And because my name's Tara, my nan is Irish. So I got my initial T and it has a little fairy sitting on the top of it with wings.
Cool.
So that's on my shoulder and it's quite big. And then I got like a scorpion going around my other shoulder. Because of like the stool door.
That's kind of cool, man.
So yeah, I've got like shooting stars going across my belly button. So,
sweet.
Because I had piercings there too. Everyone had the belly button in the 90s.
Yeah, I know. It was like I remember in the 90s too telling Uzi, my wife, I said, you know what, man, I need to buy one of those laser tattoo removal machines. And because it's like there's a lot of people get rid of the stuff, right? But I loved it when there was an uptick in the style and people were actually getting them as fashion. So
yeah, and I always kind of I didn't get any tattoos that I knew I would want removed. Every
Right.
one of them kind of has
Good.
a meaning behind them. So it was, I knew they need touching up because they're so old, but they're never going to be removed.
All right. So, all right. Well, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah. It was like when you have that moment when you're that age, it was kind of the only way we could all express ourselves with like tattoos and piercings and music and clothes. Kind of like, it's like that unique stamp of kind of our generation, I think.
Yeah. If you think about it, think about the kids today, man. They don't have that shit to express themselves. They don't have, cool bands coming out. Golly, it's amazing. I would be afraid to be a teenager in today's era. To be honest with you, it must be just a crazy fucking thing.
It really is. Like having teenage daughters as well. Like my eldest is so like me, it's uncanny because she's got into the piercing and dyeing her hair and everything, just like I did at that age as well. And I'm like, oh Christ. I like my youngest is like, she's got that mischievous but I wouldn't melt grin. I'm like, oh God, what's going on inside your head? So I've got like the pair of them. So I know the next thing she's going to ask is a tattoo, but I'm like, I don't see it as, I'm one of those parents that just doesn't see it as an issue. I would rather my kids express themselves in that way than ways that could be dangerous to them. So,
all right.
Yet to see.
All right. So now, all right, I want to ask you one more personal question. Right? If you had a warning label, what would your warning label say?
My warning label? Oh God. What, warning to other people or warning to myself?
Well, they have warning labels on like products, it's like warning, don't do this or,
Probably doesn't have an off. I don't think I have an off button. I know.
I like that.
Would be the warning.
Yeah, warning, no off button on this one, right? All right.
It's like you take it or leave it.
Right.
Oh, Jesus Christ, babe.
So, all right, in 40 years, what do you think people will be nostalgic for?
Nostalgic for? Truth, reality, no bullshit. Probably communication, because I think the internet, as wonderful as it is, and it's in one sense it's great because it's kept everyone together during COVID. Like it's given people a place to kind of talk and communicate and not lose touch with people. But in another sense, I think we've lost a lot of skills that made us before we had the internet, like learning how to communicate together socially in an acceptable way. Because you see things now, like people are out and about and they have no bloody idea how to conduct themselves with any form of, like, there's no manners, there's no empathy for anyone else. Everyone's just out for themselves, and it's like, God almighty, like everyone's going to end up killing each other in the next stage. That's what's going to happen. It's just because they've lost it.
Yeah, civility and division.
Yeah,
right.
The whole sense of community has gone.
So if you could go back in time and spend a week with anybody out of history, who would you want to spend it with?
Oh, I want to go back to the Tudor period. I don't care. I would love to sit with like Anne Boleyn. I would love to do that. I know it's very English history, but I know that you kind of know about it from like watching the Tudors over in America.
Oh yeah.
She's fascinating to me. The Tudors, like the dress, the fashion,
Well, her whole family, her dad was, the whole plot was to take over the throne.
Yeah.
And
the politics then
Yeah.
was cutthroat, and I mean,
Yeah.
you literally could lose your head.
Literally, and she did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Did lose her head, and it fascinates me how women then were thought of like, the be-alls and end-alls of whether you had a female or male child, and it's like, so it's like if you could go back in time and go, well, actually, I'm from the future, and it's a you problem, not a me problem.
Right.
it just like it would be quite fun.
I do need to tell everybody that in the description is your Twitter and the link to your YouTube page. So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that before we we're going to shift gears here and do what I call the Lipton questions, in honor of James Lipton, a guy that used to do an interview show where he had some of the top greatest actors, directors, that he could talk to. But he would ask all of them this series of questions that he got from I think it was a French reporter. It's kind of and I think it goes back to a poet from the 18th century. I can't remember exactly. But all right, so question number 1 is, what's your favorite word?
Oh, my favorite word. Fucker. Probably. It's gonna be a bad word.
It's fine.
It'll be like fucker.
Okay. Well, all right, what's your least favorite word?
My least favorite word, lit. Lit. I don't understand the kids nowadays.
All right, so what? All right, what turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Emotionally, probably empathy, someone you can actually connect with on a level where it's not just of like the physical. Obviously the physical's fun, but like just someone who has an understanding, not will cut you off at the minute the going gets tough kind of thing. Something. It's like everyone wants to have that feeling where they're nurtured and they're not going to lose you if they show their worst side kind of thing. Everyone has that. Some people feel it a lot more. I probably do feel it a lot more than other people, but it's just that thing of the minute you have something bad or wrong or you're feeling something, it's like, I'll love you if you just don't leave.
Mm-hmm. So what turns you off creatively?
What turns me off?
Yeah. Spiritually, emotionally.
Misunderstanding, uncaring attitudes, coldness, just emotional detachment, I suppose. Things like that.
Right.
I'm just so not like that. It's like, I find it very hard to understand how some people can be like that.
All right, so what is your favorite curse word?
Bastard.
What sound or noise do you love?
Oh my god. What sound do I love? Oh god. I love it when my half just talks to me. But when he whispers in my ear, that's just, I'm putting in his hands. He can do anything.
Buddy, huh? What sound or noise do you hate?
Probably drills. I really don't like drills.
Right.
I really don't.
All right. So what profession other than your own would you like to attempt? What
profession? Oh God. I really like cooking, so I think I'd probably like to be like do some form of cooking, cooking for people.
So
It wouldn't need to be like a posh fancy restaurant. I just would I probably would go with my bestie because he does Christmas meals for like the homeless. I probably would like to go with his company and like cook with them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What profession would you not like to do?
Would I not like to do? Oh my god, anything to do with engineering, kind of big mathematical problems. Just anything with way too much responsibility.
All right, and finally, all right, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I don't think I'd want God to kind of answer me. If my nan was there, I'd be happy. If my nan was there saying hello, that'd be it. That's all I'd want.
All right. And all right, so we've finished with that point. So it's okay to start queuing up the questions now. Put a couple of question marks before and after, so we'll know that these are actual questions you want us to ask. I'll scroll up. I think I saw a couple. Somebody being goofy. Trippy Cast asks, IRATE prostate, how many pegs would a roots take if a roots could be pegged? I don't know.
Too many, he'd be crying afterwards.
Is roots ribbed for Harley's pleasure? All right, Trippy, bad boy.
It's the other way round.
What's B Token's butthole? Okay. You mean
probably
what,
very fucking sore right now.
That's funny as shit. A great answer. I like that answer. See, I like it. You can dish it out and take it. Some people can't, but you know, I like you. I like the cut of your jib, as they say. All right. So, what do you think of Barbara from Barbara for You to See, The Barb, and her other channel, Barbara 2.0, The Barbara Horvat?
Where the fuck is Barbara?
He asked this every ice cream interview since he started watching the show.
I don't know who Barbara is.
She's a YouTuber that he always wants to do this fucking ad, and she's very funny. She's a young girl from Slovenia, in her mid-20s, maybe starting to get later, but she's very sweet and comes off very funny to me. She's likable as hell.
Watch her then.
Yeah. All right, Madness wants to know, how is it to peg Roots and B Token together with the other girls?
Oh my god, it was so tiring because it's like Token was taking it all for Roots last night, so we were like double tagging because it's like making up for the fact that Roots wasn't there, you know?
Yeah.
Roots, you lit down the side, you know, there was supposed to be two of you.
Well, Trippy says that, just so you know, B Token is alive and no longer drunk, but he says he smells funny.
That's because he was hiding in the corner. He was like passed out. We used and abused him and left him.
Jeff Vader wants to know, where are you gonna go? Where do you want to go? I mean, sorry. Where do I
want to go? In what sense?
I don't know, man. What do you mean?
Where do I want to go?
What's the worst movie you've ever seen, and why is it the Carol Danvers movie? He says this one.
Oh, for Christ's sake! Have we got another like? Oh, it's a Brie Larson, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. All right. So, how does the harem of simps work out actually?
How does it work? Well, there's 3 of us. I think we're probably going to initiate Maureen to be our 4th. So how it works is you bend over, you take it, and there's 3 of us, possibly 4 of us. If you want to bring lube, that's your own. That's your own choice.
You're not providing that lube. No lube. No lube for you. Let's see. Favorite slasher.
Favorite slasher? Probably Freddy.
Ask her again and tell her to think of Daywave. Jeff Vader
Where
says.
do I want to go? If you're talking about them Island Boys, I'm gonna drown you in that bloody pool as well with them.
They're an interesting phenomenon currently, right?
Oh god, someone needs to put them out their fucking misery.
What do you think of Boku no Pico? Whatever the fuck that is.
I have no idea.
Is that an anime? It sounds like a gay anime. But what is your favorite OG meme?
That kid with that look on her face, you know, the blonde haired kid where she's just looking at you like, the fuck?
Like she smelled a fart?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What's that? What's that smell? Yeah. Harley's, all right, so Aunt Kathy asked, do you want to come join the senior pole dance in my garden? Law lessons begin soon.
Yay! Hell yeah! That's a fun time.
You just film it and I'll watch it. How about that, Aunt Kathy?
I think she's going to need to put a row of like them deck chairs out the, you know, the side of this pole, because like all the guys are just going to be there freaking beer. We're just here for, you know, if any accidents happen, we're here, you know, the first aid crew. And it's like, what the fuck, you lot don't know first aid.
Hey Jim, say, what are your thoughts on birds?
Birds?
Nice general question.
Where do you want to go? I got you, Jeff. I love that song. It's a good song. Don't roast me for it. I mean, my thought on birds, well, we do kind of, you know, roast a turkey every Christmas, so yay.
All right, so keep throwing the questions because we're going to wrap in a minute. Because we've got to keep things moving. Oh, it's at the bottom of the hour, too. I told you it'd go by fast, didn't I?
It has.
Man, jeez.
Would I have sex with my alternate universe counterpart? Fuck yeah, I'm a good time.
Yeah, see, and then that's the question: is it A, homosexual, and is it B, is it B, incest? See?
Not technically incest because you're kind of not on the same universal plane, so it's not incest.
Yeah, but yeah, if you know it's yourself, then you definitely know how to get yourself off. I mean, because everybody does, right?
But then it's educational.
We're gonna turn this into a deep dive question, man. It's just for you motherfucker. All right, he's funny, man. He hangs out with me on Pat, your boy Pat's channel. He'll pop in there, yeah. That's funny. What is your favorite urban legend? That's a good question.
Oh, God. Well, obviously I know about my other half's one, which is Hat Man. I don't like Slender Man. That scares the shit out of me. Yeah, I don't. That's why I don't like forests. It's just murder territory. It's like you've gone into this, now you've got to commit.
All right, Trippy Cass wants to know how many double Ds were on his stream last night.
Too many to count, Trippy.
Jeff Vader says,
many.
Oh, go ahead.
So many you could have started a forest fire.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, Jeff!
What's the most degenerate thing you've ever done?
Oh, God,
Dude,
really?
He's putting it on the line there. I mean, you know.
Oh, God. You've been in our server way too long, Jeff. I swear to Christ. Oh, God. I've done some degenerate things in my life. Oh, God. Do I tell you this one?
That man says the night is young.
Oh, no.
That's the way you think, man.
The most degenerate thing I've ever done was... I'm not going to go into detail, but I've ripped my G-string off and flinged it across on the DJ booth for booze. And let's move on.
All right. Let's see. What's the most disgusting thing you've ever seen or done in your life?
Well, I've worked in a hospital, so nothing really kind of shocks me. Probably the most disgusting thing I've ever seen was someone came in after they'd been hit by a bus. That was the most disgusting thing.
What's your favorite mythological creature?
Pegasus.
Which version of the Harley Quinn do you like more, the OG or the more modern version? That's a legit question, actually.
I like the original Harley Quinn, although I do have, I did collect the like B-52 bombshell version of Harley Quinn, and I like that because with comic book characters, they can't stay stagnant. They will change no matter what. So as long as the principle to the character stays the same, having a costume change and things like that doesn't really matter to me, because I think everything has to be, you can't keep a 70s character in, that kind of regalia throughout now. But as long as they keep to the main, personality traits of who Harley Quinn is, like the original Harley Quinn, then yeah, it's cool.
Hey, I got a question. Do you have any unusual fears?
Sand.
Oh, wow. What about, do you have any collections?
Yeah, I used to have collections. Then, because, the X, I had really good comic book collections. But having to, leave kind of quickly, it's like, you don't get to take that stuff with you, and it didn't come up, so it's like, I had comic books and hot toy collections. So.
Right, do you have a bunch of long boxes?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
So bagged and boarded, long box.
Me too. That's good. Yeah. You're the real deal. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. All right, so we're wrapping the questions, y'all. All right, and we're moving on to we gotta wrap the show. We got people that are going to be doing stuff tonight on the interwebs, and we want you to take part in every bit of it. All right, because I heard Medicare was going to go do something tonight.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, so keep your eyes open. It hasn't started yet. And of course, I think Trippy's doing something, and later Johnny Bonsacco is having a drunk stream, I believe. Yeah. So, all right. So we're at the point of where we're talking about YouTube again. Who would you say is a criminally undersubscribed YouTuber that you watch?
Probably my other half. He needs a lot more credit than he's given, I think. Like AP and JJ give him a lot of credit, but the actual quality of his videos and the depth in which he goes, plus he's super intelligent in how he breaks down people. I think he needs a lot more recognition than he does get. Also, just a lot of people in this community, I think, deserve a lot more recognition than what they get.
Dude, you and me both. Yeah, your lips to God's ears. Because, I totally agree. All right, who do you think's way overhyped? Like, you just don't get it.
Way overhyped? PewDiePie. I don't get that. Really don't get that. Like, can someone fucking explain it to me? I don't get it. The dude, I don't get it. I really don't get it.
What makes sense to me is he's probably got a lot of 13-year-old boys as fans. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't get the whole this millennium generation thinking. I watch some of them and I'm like, oh my god, is everyone fucking brain dead that watches these people? Are you brain dead?
Fucking stupid. Yeah, right.
It's like that whole James Charles and those twins and fucking Jake Paul and his brother, and it's like, what the fuck is this generation watching? Right. I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna end up living in bloody bunkers underground soon.
Well, yeah, a lot of it's like really bad reality TV, in my opinion. But who am I? All right, so all right, so talk about you. Are you planning on making any content? I've seen that there was a couple of videos on your channel.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I was talking to the girls about this the other day, of like probably, I don't know, setting up a kind of just like a girly kind of stream and just kicking back and doing fun things. Like, because Trippy's stream is fun as hell, like the Cards Against Humanity kind of thing. So we were like talking about it, kind of doing odd streams here and now and then, like, and then we have like a guest guy on that we roast kind of thing, because we're like a coven. It's like our good thing.
Right.
So like just getting a guy's perspective probably on female things would be quite funny, because like guys keep saying like, I don't understand you, like what the fuck. It's like we're really not that hard to understand. So it's like, it's just things like that, you know.
What do you think of break the internet?
As in, I've not heard of that. Or just break it.
Okay.
Completely.
All right, and so yeah, we're at the end of the deal. I'm at the final question. So it's a tradition to show your channel or promote anybody you want to, and a final word for the chat and the people watching.
Well, thanks for coming out and listening to me, you know, just gob on for like God knows how long. Go sub to my other half's channel, because he's got a video coming out Wednesday on James Clark, which will be amazing.
Sweet.
Obviously go, you know, check out the guys like AP, sub to Virgie, Trippy, B Token.
That's right.
Sub to them all. Like, and even if you don't have a Twitch set one up, because like Trader has a movie night, you know, and we were just sitting there watching movies together. So like, it's, even though we're, you know, we can't see each other, but it's still social.
Yeah.
If you're just having a rough time, just get in there and jump in and watch a movie with everyone. Like, just do it. And yeah, if I start streaming and if I do more content like the singing videos, then I will let you know.
Killer. And I'll be the first to announce it, okay? And
Thank
all right,
you.
so you know that doing this show, okay, you qualify on this coming Friday to be a part of the Creem stream. The person that sits in this chair is always invited to the Friday night show, and I'll hit you up with the details on that, some middle of the week or something, okay?
Yeah.
But I don't have any more questions. I'm out. Yeah, nobody cares about Onion Boy anymore, Jim. You know what I'm saying?
It was so much fun.
It was. I had a ball. I don't know. I've got, like I said, I'm out of questions, so I've said everything. I do want to say one thing. All right, I did want to promote. Tomorrow, Becca and I are going to be going over the Deep Church. That's right, inside the Catholic Church. We got an interview with an archbishop that we're not doing the interview. What we're going to do is watch it and talk about it on Odyssey and Twitch tomorrow afternoon. And our show is called Extra Credit from the Gulag. And we do shit that Susan don't like. She don't like it when you talk about communism in a negative light. For some reason, I just you know. And
that is.
yeah, no shit. And then this time next week, I don't know if you know who this lady is, but her name is Deb Philman, and she has a channel called The Reason We Learn. And she is a public school abolitionist, which means she wants to abolish the public school system in the United States. And she's a very fascinating person. We've had her on XD before. I don't know what we're doing this week on XD. We watched Harrison Berger on last Wednesday. And but I'll have her next week, and then the week after that. Speaking of AP, the Adonis Paul, the character, okay, is going to be sitting in that chair. We're going to be talking about his life, his development, and what led him to Los Tejas. Yes, it's going to be fun. Yeah, because we had been talking about this thing for about 6 or 7 months now, so it's fun to pull the trigger on it and have some fun.
Finally, we get the answer to the question that everyone's been wanting to know: what's inside AP's butthole?
you know somebody will ask that shit, right? All right,
No
all right, I'm gonna say goodbye, everybody.
Bye bye. Thanks for coming.